Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, a national budget of just under $1 billion to be presented in Parliament on Tuesday. Dominica to experience tropical storm conditions as Gonzalo strengthens this weekend, and Emancipation celebrations officially begin on Sunday. The details coming up.
Avec Flow, animé on top up, sign up, quittez yo, every video join Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Increased rainfall, thunderstorms and gusty winds projected for Dominica as Tropical Storm Gonzalo increases its speed. Senior Med Officer Marshall Alexander says Gonzalo will generate tropical storm conditions in the southern Windward Islands on Saturday.
At 11 a.m., the center of Tropical Storm Gonzalo was located in latitude 10.0 degrees north, longitude 54.2 degrees west, or about 485 miles east of the southern Windward Islands. Gonzalo is now moving towards the west at an increased forward speed of 18 miles per hour or 30 kilometers per hour, with maximum sustained winds decreasing to near 50 miles per hour or 85 kilometers per hour. Gonzalo is a relatively small tropical cyclone with tropical storm force winds extending 25 miles from the center, and there is significant uncertainty in forecasting Gonzalo's intensity when it moves across the islands due to its small size. The current projection is for the tropical cyclone to move across the southern Windward Islands late Saturday into Sunday, about 200 miles to the south of Dominica. Shower and thunderstorm activity, along with gusty winds associated with Gonzalo, are projected to begin affecting the southern windwards from late today and Dominica by Saturday afternoon into Sunday. Unstable conditions are therefore expected to linger across the island throughout most of the weekend. Projected rainfall amounts during the period into Sunday is 2 to 3 inches or 50 to 75 millimeters, with higher amounts in elevated areas. Flash flooding and landslides are therefore possible. A flash flood watch or warning may be issued as conditions warrant from Saturday evening. Meanwhile, another active tropical wave is expected to generate shower and thunderstorm activity, which could be heavy at times with gusty winds across Dominica from Monday and throughout Tuesday of next week. People in areas prone to flooding, landslides, and falling rocks are advised to be vigilant and to exercise extreme caution during this projected wet spell from Saturday night and into early next week. Gusty winds and a deterioration in sea conditions are expected in areas of showers and thunderstorms. Mariners and all users of the sea are therefore advised to exercise extreme caution during the period. A small craft warning is now in effect for above normal seas. The public is advised to keep informed on these systems by listening to further updates provided by the Dominica Meteorological Service.
Prime Minister Skerrit will present a budget just shy of $1 billion on Tuesday. That's $942,179,000. The last budget was the largest in the country's history so far, $1 billion with a B, $20,164,000. In this current budget, the Prime Minister, who is also Minister for Finance, is expected to pay particular attention to small and medium-sized businesses. In fact, the budget will make provision for a $30 million facility for lending to the small business sector at 1% interest. That loan facility will form part of a 3-year initiative to highlight small and medium-sized businesses. Businessman Parry Bellot welcomes the initiative but says he has some concerns.
It still has to be repaid, and sometimes I think these government people don't understand that a loan, even if it's at 1%, as opposed to say the normal 5, 6, 7%. It is repaid. Sometimes people are at a stage where they need grant assistance. Don't move on. The last stimulus package that had been put out, and there was some grant provision, very small. Skerrit has more encouraged them to go. He put a 15 million facility for small business at low interest rate, I think to 2% or something like that, for small. But these people, I thought, really needed grant funds. Now, some grant funds were available in a special arrangement facility at the Dominica Social Security. But in my column, I suggested that no, that was really not good enough. Offering them $15,000, and sometimes not $15,000 they need. I mean, $1,000 or $2,000 grant would help them over the curve more. Because a grant, they cannot think of this repayment business. They've been struggling for a few months, not being able to do the business that they normally did because of COVID. And mind you, it's not only bus drivers, they're the one making the most noise, but other small businesses, roadside people, even the normal business outside of the supermarkets were all struggling and had to make sacrifices, So people have to all understand that.
Bellot says while he is impressed with the Prime Minister's efforts, more can be done.
But I don't know the economics of the government. I have great faith in Skerrit, in his financial arrangements. He's always very cautious and very prudent. I mean, there's a history of that. Opposition don't want to accept that. But that's what and I said maybe he felt that he couldn't do more. As I say, I still felt he should do better. But I say he must have a good reason. Clearly, maybe he was waiting for a few months to see how certain things would come to pass. And maybe now he's getting the kind of grants from overseas that will allow him to do certain things that he no longer have to put money aside for that. So he can now put money for the small business, because small business needs help.
The Prime Minister is presenting Tuesday's budget against the background of global financial challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Borders, including that of Dominica, are just now beginning to reopen. Mr. Skerrit has highlighted the fact that throughout these challenges, government has continued to pay full salaries while experiencing a significant shortfall in central government revenue, a situation which may not be sustainable.
The Prime Minister has a resource that a lot of the other islands haven't got to the extent he has. The CBI. And by the way, if he was a thin-skinned fellow who wouldn't take pressure, you might have closed it down long ago when he was getting a lot of licks for the CBI. That is what has saved Dominica in a lot of respects. Maria, Erica, and things like that. So that is there. That is their resource. So, that's so he's been having to use those resources. As you talk about the income, the new income, especially from tax and so on, and revenue, it's just not there. But he is getting a certain amount of aid granted from overseas, and the CBI is there. But as I say, he's a man, we're in the hurricane season. He has to keep something there for if we have a major hit. Because as you pointed out last time, after Maria, for instance, you have a lot of pledges of help from IMF, from World Bank, even from other countries. That takes a little time for them to organize, to send to Dominica. It takes time, the bureaucracy, which is important and necessary, that, they get all their things organized. But in the meantime, where are Dominicans eating from? A lot of supermarkets, have been looted, places closed down, sometimes no access to. Take Woodchurch, the condition they were after. Skerrit had arranged in Barbados, I want you to ship immediately so much, and we're paying cash for that. So, yes, sir, we will deliver. He's that kind of person. He's that kind of, he takes into account. And I remember when the opposition was tearing into him, what we're keeping all those reserves for. This is Dominican money, CBI money, give it to them. No. Skerrit didn't give out, and he'll help. Look at how far he has gone. This morning, I'm hearing on the radio the criticism that Dominicans, what are the shelters? We don't have all the shelters we should have, another hurricane season and so on. but Skerrit has built what is tantamount to almost individual shelters for a lot of people, building and giving it almost free to a lot of people.
The Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce hopeful its suggestions for the 2020-2021 national budget will receive favorable responses from government. Vice President of the DAIC, Stephen Lander, says the chamber has held several promising talks with government and is looking forward to working with the authorities on bringing these recommendations to life.
The chamber recognizes that this has been an atypical year for both businesses and government given what has transpired with COVID. And against that backdrop, our focus has been on how we can stimulate the local economy by improving the circulation of money and hopefully mitigating the impact on employment as a result. We've engaged the government in that regard, and the key message has been around how we fast-track the implementation of public sector projects to the benefit of the local private sector. Those engagements have been positive, and we look forward to playing an instrumental role in bringing the ideas to fruition with the government.
Tourism is among the critical areas to receive attention from the DAIC, and proposals have been made on how best to help the industry thrive post-COVID-19.
Another key area of focus is the tourism industry, both from the standpoint of how we bridge the gap that exists now and how we retool the industry such that we deliver a much better product as we inch our way back to normal. We've shared ideas around incentives, and we look forward to some positive feedback from the government in that regard. We've also advocated for the expansion of financing available to small and medium enterprises at the Development Bank, but more importantly, the easing of conditions with regard to accessing that finance.
Budget day set for Tuesday, 28th of July. The Waterfront and Allied Workers Union says it's in the dark to some extent in terms of what's really going on with the plans for LIAT's future. Trade union leader Curtis Augusta says the union learned some of the facts concerning LIAT's current situation in the media. Antigua's Prime Minister Gaston Brown has received the support of other LIAT shareholders to restructure LIAT, but has also said that if the process does not go as planned, the airline could still face liquidation.
Management of LIAT have not in fact got back to us in relation to news that are circulating in relation to the operations of LIAT. We knew from the meeting that was held at the ending of last month that there was a submission and a proposal to liquidate LIAT. And we felt that from the union standpoint, that not only should we be hearing such information coming on the media, but that we should be officially communicated. We, from our standpoint in the Waterfront and Allied Workers Union, we felt that if the management of LIAT and the shareholders of LIAT were going the route of liquidation, that there would have to be some inescapable course that they would have to meet. Because even up to June, and in fact to July this month, workers have been owed their salaries for the period May, June, and July. And we have not got any information from the management of LIAT in relation to what are their plans in honoring that sort of commitment that they have for the workers that have been engaged with LIAT for a number of years.
Severance pay is another big issue on the table.
There are some people that have been with LIAT for a very long time. And even with this, from the standpoint of the laws of Dominica, if the workers were made redundant or if the workers were severed, that payments that would be due to them would be to a maximum under the redundancy of 1 year. And of course, that would mean that any employee within the LIAT operation that have been with the company for more than 23 years, in fact, would be losing.
Augustus says in light of all these issues, the union needs to know LIAT's plans whether to liquidate or to restructure.
We must recognize that LIAT have provided a significant service to the people of the region. And having worked with LIAT for a number of years in terms of representing the workers of LIAT in Dominica, but also being a participant in discussions with LIAT from the regional standpoint, we are of the opinion that we would prefer to have the situation where LIAT would continue, because LIAT as an entity has a record that is unsurpassed, probably worldwide, in that it has a very, very good track record in terms of accidents. So from that standpoint, we would like to see this continuation, because LIAT would be living up to the standards that they have set in terms of being one of the safest airlines in the world to fly. So we were hoping that we would get some news from the management of LIAT in that regard. We were promised some information that have not been forthcoming, and we are in fact still waiting, because one thing that we could say about the operations of LIAT is that they are always in consultation with the trade unions representing the workers. And sometimes we are asked to make contributions in terms of give back to ensure that LIAT continues to operate in the region.
You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
With Flow, when a bag of money cash out, get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
Yo, check this. Flow is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making Fridays great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. Emancipation 2020 celebrations officially kick off on Sunday. Andrea Louis has that story.
Emancipation Celebrations 2020 had to be scaled down to 1 week of activities due to the health guidelines implemented as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Though there will be no Golden Drum Awards ceremony during the Emancipation celebrations, Chief Cultural Officer Raymond Lawrence says there is a packed calendar in which Dominicans can participate.
We also have a Thanksgiving Mass at the Granby Catholic Church, and that's on Sunday, July 26th at 8 o'clock in the morning. Then for the week, the 26th of July to the 1st of August, every day we're going to be featuring various fashion designs from our local fashion designers. Art showcase, again online. Most of the programs will be on the Cultural Division's Facebook page, and that's where the public can log in to be part of those activities that I have spoken about.
Online head-tying sessions, interviews with cultural stalwarts, and a panel discussion on the African influence on Dominican culture also form part of the calendar. Lawrence is hopeful that the move to online platforms for the majority of activities will allow Dominicans living overseas to participate.
One of our top priorities is to make sure that the public is safe. That's one of the top priorities. because their health is the most important thing. So and I've always said that our activities will be in accordance with the guidelines at the time from the Ministry of Health. So we don't want to necessarily have large gatherings of people. They're still saying if we can avoid the crowds, because yes, people are asked to stay 3 feet apart, and so, but not all the time, people are conscious of that physical distancing. So we too have to be vigilant.
The Minister for Culture will deliver an address on Saturday, 1st August, while on Friday, 31st July, Dominicans are being encouraged to dress in African or Creole wear to celebrate emancipation.
I can understand that maybe not everybody might have access necessarily to Facebook or to online. So that's why we have included some activities, for instance, the dress day, where everybody across the island can take part in the dress day. And we have the address by the minister, which will be on radio as well. That can be heard across the country and overseas. So there are some activities and the Mass, the Thanksgiving Mass, people can come to that at Grand Bay.
The theme for Emancipation 2020 is Giving Thanks, Building Hope, and Celebrating Possibilities. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
And the reform of the education system from the earliest level is on the cards. Here again is Andrea Louis with more.
Minister for Education Octavia Alfred says the restructuring of the education system is needed to improve academic performance across the board. Her comments come following the results of the Grade 6 National Assessment and the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the country's current teaching structure.
Our efforts at education reform will include technology, life skills, TVET, and special attention will be placed on male students to improve their achievement as low beginning at primary level, and may I add, at early childhood level, and may I add, at roving care level, and may I add, at how we socialize our babies too. Because all of those from research have shown that they impact even sometimes when we are not aware.
Reaffirming her ministry's commitment to the blended classroom approach, Ms. Alfred acknowledges that access to internet and devices remain a problem for some.
The COVID-19 experience has made it clear that we must adopt a blended approach that incorporates more heavily on aspects of technology in teaching and learning. We are developing approaches to this and exploring options to assist students who are disadvantaged due to the issue of access to both connectivity and devices. The ministry will update the public on our efforts in this regard.
The minister pledged to continue strengthening the education system to assist students and teachers whenever weaknesses or areas of concern arise.
We remain aware also of the need to ensure that students entering secondary school continue to develop the requisite skill to excel. The ministry pledges to provide continuous guidance to teachers and principals through the established channels of support available in the Ministry of Education. We will continue to monitor student performance and identify areas that require additional support to ensure effective learning.
And 3 lucky winners walked away on Friday afternoon with cash prizes in Flo's Bag of Money campaign. The campaign, which had to be shelved due to the COVID-19 pandemic, was relaunched last week. Manager of Flo's retail store in Roseville, Francine Half, presented the lucky winners with their prizes. Lincoln Joseph won $250. Paul Armour won $500. He was represented by Lynn Fontenelle. And Sigmund Rene won $250. That was collected by Lisa Grail on his behalf. The names of all 3 winners went back into the bag, giving them a shot at the grand prize of $10,000. Grand prize draws will be held on the 7th of August and again on the 4th of September.
You just won $250 from Flo, and of course you're also back into the bag to win $10,000. So what's the feeling like?
Well, it feels good to win this money. I'll put it to good use.
Awesome.
For dinner.
Oh, wonderful. So he said he's taking his wife out for dinner, and that's what I like. As we mentioned, I mean, the money's yours. You can do whatever you want with it, but it's all about making our customers smile. Thank you for being a Flow customer, and of course, you won today, but you also have a chance to win $10,000, and that is on the 7th of August as well as the 4th of September. So please continue enjoying your services, continue being with Flow. Have you been with us for a while?
Too long. I can't come.
Too long, you lost count. And you activated a plan, right?
Yes.
Is that a usual for you?
Every month I'm on trip.
Wonderful. Remember, it's very easy to get yourself in the bag to win the bag. You simply need to top up $10 or more, activate an always on combo plan. You can sign up for one of our postpaid bundle plans, or you could port in. That in itself gets you into the bag. Remember, apart from our weekly prizes, we're also giving away monthly draws or our bonus cash prizes, and that is on September 4th as well as August 7th, where customers are going to win $10,000 la shesh. So you could be a lucky winner today. You simply need to top up $10 or more, sign up for a postpaid plan, port in, or buy an always on combo plan, and you will be good to go. Happy summer.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
With love, win a bag of money, cash out, get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From
Yo, check this. Flow is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making parties great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, a look again at the headlines. A national budget of just under $1 billion to be presented in Parliament on Tuesday. Dominica to experience tropical storm conditions as Gonzalo strengthens this weekend. And Emancipation celebrations officially begin on Sunday. You may access the news on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Have a good weekend.